It was like, at that time there was a lot of kids that skated.
Where did you get that camcorder? I like the size and everything. Where'd you get it?
eBay.
Oh. Take
eBay.
it off and don't forget that.
So funny. Just like pull the camera out and then there's fucking people. They just can't handle it up here. There's no attention up here. They like, gotta like. I think when I was like 15 or 14, there must have been a thing like, hey, a lot of kids skate down at the Everson Museum, so. And I went to hardcore shows at the Lost Horizon back then, which was like graffiti kids, skaters, hardcore music. It was all that mixed together in one. It was such that like, it was like 93 or something, like around that time. It was just one of those things, if you went there, that all the kids that were fucking into interesting things went there. Yeah, I was. I was around when they had their first show, I believe. I was the youngest one of everyone. But I remember getting dropped off here and not knowing anyone, and there was a kid that was like my age, like the same age as me, and his name was Bill too. So they called, because he was really skinny and I was a lot bigger, like just at that age, and they called him like Young Will, Skinny Will, and they called me Fat Bill. So it was like kind of started like that. Like after I got dropped off here and hung out, I like met the kids that kind of hung out down here, and from that point on I was down here like all the time. Like I lived like 15 miles from here, in Cicero, and every weekend or whatever, like I would just skip school and be like, Mom, drop me off down there, and I would come up here and just like hang with these guys up here. It was more of a schooling, hanging out with these kids and like just learning about life outside of my like smaller area than it was going to school there, I think. I learned a lot from these kids. They were very like seasoned in like life already, just involved in so many more things that I was, you know what I mean? Like they've already taken on life a little bit, and I was like green, super green, like just like didn't know shit about shit. And you'd come up here and hang out with them and they would just teach you like life lessons, the shit that they've learned and stuff. It was like a good stepping stone for when I went to Philly, like just being up here. There was a plaza here, just hanging out with these guys and like seeing their survival tactics and like, shit, we don't have no money, where are we gonna go eat? Like, what are these, like, you know, there was all these different things, like, you know, that they had known already and that I needed to learn, I felt like, you know. And it's just through skating, you know, like that part of skating, you know. At that time period especially, there was no money. Like none of these kids were making money off skating. Like some of them worked at like Subway and different little things. Like if your friend worked at the pizza shop, you went to the pizza shop to get fucking free pizza, you know what I mean? If they worked at Subway, you went and got a fucking sandwich, you know what I mean? It was like those little techniques to get like, to just get by for that day. You weren't thinking about next week, you were just thinking about like, shit, what am I gonna do today? I have no money. Like, you know, come down here, kick it, your friend will give you, you know, your friend has extra money, he gives you some, you know. It's pretty crazy. There was a real crew here, but like the big cities, how they had big crews, there was an actual crew that hung here every day. We all rolled together no matter what. If we went to a party, we all went together. If we went to a hardcore show, we all went together. Down here at Everson was the skate crew, you know what I mean? Graffiti dudes would just come down here and hang. Dudes that, like, after, like, the shows at the Lost Horizon, everyone would come down here, you know what I mean? Like, girls would come down here. It was just it was like a meeting point, too, you know? The crew there was, like, a really dope fucking crew, like, and they were like as good as people from other cities, but it was just such a small city. You couldn't just film something on your phone and post it online so people couldn't see it. It was like, we just were in our own mix. We made our own videos and we'd go over to our friend's house to watch them, you know what I mean? And like, no one saw that outside of us, really. But it was like Kevin Griffin, Goose, Corey, Aaron, Steve Healy, John Cannon, Ben Dietz, who else? There was like Tom Cavanaugh. I don't know. There was like a whole shit show of people. I'm probably missing a few, but it was really cool. You know, it was like fucking like Big Brother shit. You know what I mean? It was the best. I'm so thankful that I got to grow up in a smaller town that had kind of a city like feel to it. That made it more exciting when I went to like bigger cities. You know what I mean? Like I kind of knew what to do and like how to navigate. Coming back here and hanging out here, it just feels dope. You know, like I was a little kid when I was here. You know, when I was here, it was like, you know, fucking, you know, 34 years ago or like 28 years ago or something. Like I don't know what the fuck it was, but it was like it was a long time ago when I was like kicking it down here every day. You know. Some of them had like small sponsors, like where it was like, oh, this dude from Binghamton's starting a fucking board company, like you want to ride for it and stuff like that. The only time I ever felt like they were, you know, some of them would try to get sponsored was when there was like a demo here. There would be like a real demo and like one of the dudes that skated here would just be fucking ripping it, you know what I mean? And that's like, you know, hometown hero-y kind of shit, but like, I think from where I see it is like, dude, this is our time to shine, kind of like these dudes are here, they're like pros, you know. I don't know, it's weird. A couple people from upstate got sponsored. Doug Shoemaker from Binghamton went out to California and was sponsored by Green and stuff. But he went out there and kind of did his thing, but no one from here really, you know, some of them went out to SF. A half of them drove out to SF to live there for a while and kind of just be out there. It was way gnarlier back in the 90s to try to get sponsored. Like, it was real cutthroaty, people were dicks. Like, you had to be down, like, with a crew of people or to even just get seen. If you weren't down, like, no one cared, you know? It was, like, real clicky, a lot more clickier then. Like, now I feel like you could just post shit on Instagram and somebody could see it and be like, damn, this kid's sick, let's, like, bring him on the next trip with us, you know? But, dude, it was not like that at all back then. I think the only pro that I really seen here was Jamie Thomas, because he, like, came through and he was, like, maybe seeing this girl that was here, so he would just come back and he would like roll with like the kids that I grew up with, and I was just a lot younger. Like I didn't really hang out with them too much, maybe a little bit, but he would come and stay here for like 5-6 days or something. But that's when he was on Invisible. It was way before Toy Machine or Zero even started, so he was still like he was on the come up, you know. But that was like, I think it really. Harold Hunter came through, but I wasn't around. Rodney Torres and Danny Supa came through, and I was around, and they were down here. Rodney switched trade this little, like, the one block, which was cool, and they were super cool, and they were from New York, and they knew our friend Terrence, who had moved to New York, and I think they were up here just, like, visiting him or something. Like, it's fucking 4.5 hours away from New York, so you gotta like wanna come up here there's a reason, you know what I mean? I think maybe Harold might even been like seeing some girl that was up here and just came up and like stayed on Syracuse University or something. But yeah. I saw a photo of him down here though. Like I saw somebody has a photo of him down here. Some of the craziest stuff I've seen go down here was like Aaron Singleton did a bunch of fucking crazy shit. Like he backside flipped the 2 into the rough. Like he tray flipped it maybe. But like he could just whip around and just do all these like, fakey inward heel flips, fakey hard flips, nollie, varial flip. Like he could just do all these tech tricks that like half of us couldn't do. But Goose's backside 180 into the fountain over the whole four stack like was really gnarly. I thought everything everyone was doing here was like, like they were all like so much ahead of me that I was like, psyched to see them doing shit. It's pretty crazy. It's just to think about like that, those like the 2 stare into the rough. Like when I was younger, I tried to ollie that and I went to ollie it and like the board got caught on the last stair and went up my ass and fucking I like went in there to like check, like it was gnarly. But I was just looking at that right now and I'm like, how the fuck couldn't I ollie that? It's like, looks like, it's like really, like I felt like maybe I could ollie that today. But back then it felt so big. Like this two stair into the, like the two flat into this, like that was crazy huge. Like back then, I mean, you know, small wheels are like 1992, 3, like that was unreal to like see somebody ollie that, you know, so. But looking at all of it today, it's like skateboarding's progressed so much that like none of this stuff looks too big anymore, you know. Back then, the littlest things were big deals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could do a fucking manual to fakie flip out on the over there, and you'd be like, that was fucking psycho, you know. It was real starting of street skating, like in a way. The thing about skateboarding, in which I got into it, the reasons why I got into it, are still the reasons why I like it today. And I literally think when I picked up a skate magazine for the first time and looked through it, I was like, dude, these people look cool. No one at my school looks like this. Like wearing like the big, huge pants and like dyeing their hair and like hanging out, that lifestyle resonated with me over anything that was going on in my school. Like no one looked like that. Until I came down here to Everson, there wasn't hardly anyone that skated that I knew in my school. But I wanted to not be like the kids at my school. I wasn't like trying to follow the like cool kid at my school and be like him, which a lot of kids did, you know, and they didn't know themselves or whatever, and just like, you do that, like you're like, that kid's cool, all the girls like him, I gotta be like him. And that's what everyone did, you know. It just felt like, you know, skateboarding was wacky, definitely back then, but there was something about it that I just like kind of took a sharp left to, you know. I don't know what it's like in school, but it's way more accepted. I bet in all these schools around the city, there's probably a lot like more skateboarders than there were back then. You know, it seems like, shit, I want to be a skater. Whether you're good or not, you can still be a skateboarder, you know. You can just kind of, yeah, I'm a skater. Like, I got a skateboard and I dress this way, and I'm not saying that it's better back then than it is now or anything. It's just it's just, you know, an evolution of it, you know. It's like, what is that thing now that skateboarding was back then? Like, what is the weird outcasty thing? Because if skateboarding is an outcasty, there's got to be something, you know what I mean? What is it? I don't know. Is it SoundCloud rap? I don't know. I don't know what kids are into, you know. I'd say fucking this is still like a sick spot to come and kick it at. I'm surprised the kids here don't hang out here as much. I think they come down here and skate every now and then, but like that place over there, the DIY spot's probably like way more of a hang. It's a little more like kind of your guys' own shit, really. I just feel like this is more of like in the city, and you can just kind of skate around the city from here. We used to just take off from here, and where these guys would find that shit. There was one out, and I forget, like near Carrier Circle, called Chip Hip, and it was behind like a Frito-Lay chip warehouse, and it was like just a hip that you could blast out of over like things, like over like barrels and picnic tables and shit. And we would drive like, you know, 15-20 minutes to go out there. But it was crazy because there was like a dumpster there that had like, they would just get rid of like all the chips and like all the bags, like Cheetos and fucking, I don't know, like all the different types. They'd put it in this like can, like if it was like a day expired. And none of us had money, so we would just rack it open and just take all the bags of chips. And they were like totally fine. Like, but it was like, shit, that was like a survival instinct. Kevin might have ollied it. I don't see why he couldn't have. He could ollie big things. Either ollied it or he didn't fucking, or he landed on it in the street. I can't remember. I don't remember seeing footage of it. I'm gonna call him. Let me see.
What's up, Big Balls?
Hey, you're on an interview right now, real quick. I'm up at Everson right now. I'm getting interviewed. So you're on there right now. So just, you know. Behave yourself.
Alright.
Anyways,
Alright.
there's a question that came up about you. And did you ollie the 4 flat into the street that faces
Yeah, you were there.
I just don't remember, dude. You ollied into the street? Why did no one film it?
Because it was like 93, it was way back in the day when nobody had cameras. You're talking from the stairs over the sidewalk into the street, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm looking at it right now, and that was a question that came up. It's like this big fucking, it's like seeing Bigfoot. No one fucking knows if it happens or not, but it's, I kind of remember, but I just, I was here, but when you don't fucking see video footage and it's been like fucking 95 years.
I had to start all the way back, like past Everson, and push like a madman. There was green, because back in the day when cars were crappy and they're all parked on the side, and there was like a bunch of, like, I would slide out in the green. But yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm looking at it right now and I fucking see grease sitting there right now.
I didn't ride away green, but I ollied it.
Well, dude, you're the fucking man. And guess what? We
small wheels.
I know, it was like around the time when the wheels were fucking little, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it was like 92, 93. You were with me.
I know, dude. There was like probably like 4 of us standing over here fucking watching it for sure. It's just been so long, but fucking, yeah, dude, you're the fucking legend around here. The fucking the redheaded legend, dude. You know what? We gotta have that reunion this next summer, no doubt.
Oh man, I would love to be in Cuse right now.
I know, it's fucking brisk kinda. I'm out here right now doing this thing, but I wanted to call you about that, but let me talk to you in a bit.
Okay, yeah, alright.
Alright, dude.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah, there you go. So he did do it. It's just, literally, that was like fucking, you know, I don't know, like 5 years ago. I just can't remember. But in a way, I kind of remember a couple of us being here, maybe like watching for cars, or it was just a long time ago. Yeah, I do. I'm friends with a lot of them. It's just, you know, some of them have kids and stuff. You don't see them as much. But if I needed anything on a drop of a dime, I could call any of them. You know, they're like my big brothers, you know. Same with them and me. If they need anything, like anything I can help. Like if like some are like, dude, I need some boards or something. I'll hook them up, you know. Take a photo. Stay right there. Stay ready. It's super fucking dope that this is here and that the museum lets you skate it. You know what I mean? They let you skate it because it's art museum and they think of skateboarding as an art, so they never kicked us out. Never. We would just come down here every day and kick it. Dude, there'd be like homeless people here kicking it and shit. Like, it was very much a stepping stone to go to Philly. You know what I mean? Where it was like plazas in the middle of the city and you could just take off from Love or City Hall and skate around the city to the different spots. It was the same thing, so I felt like I wasn't even, you know, it wasn't that big of a change for me. There was just a lot more people and new people that I never met there. I did. My grandmother got me a camcorder for Christmas, and my friend Goose was making videos where they would, like I said, they would make videos, and at the end of the year, Goose would edit them on 2 VHSs or whatever, and edit a video and put music to it, and then we would go to a friend's house and be like, dude, like, you know, Goose is bringing over the video, like, we're all getting together to watch it. And it was like so fun for us, but you know, we were the only ones that were gonna see it. You know what I mean? But it was still like the tightest thing because it felt very much like what would be going on in skateboarding at the time. Like, everyone's making videos for it. We just did it for fun. It wasn't to show off or to anyone or anything. It was just for us, which was like so fucking cool. And Goose, the dude that was filming those videos, would need someone to film him, so he would pick me up and I would just go out and film him, and I would just be down here filming. I mean, it was like a shitty camcorder, but it was a start.
Mess up my speed wobbles. I'm gonna tighten it up. I think I'm gonna try it again. Depends on how much blood I lose from now until I get to the top of the hill.
crazy. Like my grandmother would say to me like, why do you do skateboarding? You're never gonna make it, and you're gonna be a bum. I know, I love my grandmother and shit, and she's like passed away like a while ago, but like you can totally do whatever you want to do, you can do it and make a living out of it if you're determined and you make the right moves and you navigate yourself into something. Like, I don't know, like she must be tripping right now, you know what I'm saying? I will get excited to be like, if we were going to like Toronto or something, and we'd be coming through this way, I'm like, hey, we got to stop through here, and you guys got to see this place I grew up, you know? I remember filming Josh here. There was like a box or a flat bar. I remember skating there. Yep, same time. He might have ran and jumped on his board, like ran and jumped on his board and did it. I don't know if he used plywood. I don't think there was plywood here. Dude, it all meshes together right now, but no, Carrie wasn't here when Tim had that photo. That's a good photo. Mike O'Mealy shot that. But I remember Carrie either putting his board on there and running and jumping on his board, or running and jumping on his board and just launching it. He could do that shit so easy. Like, that was nothing for him. I mean, look at that thing. It's a fucking skate. Like, I remember just rolling up it and just turning around. Like, that's how good. Like, that's it. You know, that was a long time ago, but the thing looks like a skate obstacle. It's so crazy. It's like a lot of shit here looks like it's made for skating. I mean, it's still fucking cool, you know what I mean? I still think it's a good spot. It's a good spot to grow up skating. And when people come through, I think it's really fucking cool. I love seeing footage here. People like Austin came here and I hit him up, I'm like, dude, you gotta go to this spot, you gotta go, you know, it's just some hometown shit. You know, Austin's so good. But it's cool that they can just like randomly just come through here. I always want to bring people here. I even bring like the Supreme dudes here, you know? I was just like, let's do a trip upstate. Just fucking stay in this hotel over here, come over here and kick it, you know what I mean? It's a fucking cool place. It's like a hidden gem for sure.